Welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are going to look at the following WWE news and rumors. Update on Brock Lesnar's WrestleMania 37 status. The Fiend potentially deciding that he no longer needs Alexa Bliss by his side on WWE TV. Bobby Lashley reveals how long he wants to hold the WWE Championship. Bobby Lashley reveals his thoughts on The Fiend. And The Fiend rumored to appear at WrestleMania 37. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. Former WWE Champion Brock Lesnar is one of the biggest names that fans have been waiting for to return on the road to WrestleMania 37. However, the WWE Universe might be disappointed with the current update on the Beast Incarnate's status. According to CSS, Brock Lesnar is not expected to return for WWE WrestleMania 37, even though the event will see the return of live fans. It has been nearly a year since the Beast Incarnate last appeared for WWE at WrestleMania 36, where he dropped the WWE Championship to Drew McIntyre in the main event of Night 2 of the pay-per-view. Last year, reports emerged that WWE is planning a massive triple threat match for WrestleMania 37 involving Drew McIntyre, Keith Lee, and Brock Lesnar. But that looks highly unlikely now given the current storylines on Monday Night Raw. With the crowning of Bobby Lashley as the new WWE Champion, fans were expecting to finally watch him collide with Lesnar in a dream match for the WWE title at WrestleMania 37. But reports suggest that either Drew McIntyre or Sheamus will be facing the Almighty at the grandest stage of them all this year. Brock Lesnar's WWE contract expired last year in what was a massive shock. There are no confirmations yet on whether the Beast Incarnate has signed a new contract with the company. During a recent interview, Triple H had the following to say about Brock Lesnar's return status. "One of the things I have learned about him is Brock Lesnar does what Brock Lesnar wants to do. Nobody can talk him into doing things differently. So time will tell. If wants to show up at WrestleMania he will, if he doesn't he won't. The only way to get that answer is to call Brock Lesnar." Brock Lesnar has been a part of every single WrestleMania since his return to WWE in 2012. That streak might just come to an end at WrestleMania 37. Bobby Lashley has revealed how long he wants to hold the WWE title, and the Almighty doesn't plan on dropping the gold anytime soon. Bobby Lashley recently won his very first WWE title by completely dominating The Miz on an episode of Raw. The big win had been a long time in the making, and it was the culmination of a journey that took 17 years. Now that Bobby Lashley holds the WWE Championship, he has a target on his back because WrestleMania 37 is right around the corner. During an appearance on a Fun Sports podcast, Lashley discussed the possibilities of having matches with WWE's best talents with the WWE title on the line. He mentioned the likes of Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, AJ Styles, and Braun Strowman as potential opponents. In the end, Bobby Lashley revealed that he would like to hold the WWE title for at least a whole year. "There's so many different people that you can throw right in the mix at the heavyweight title, but right now, give me at least one solid year. Everyone on Raw wants to be the WWE champion, and the proximity of WrestleMania only heightens this drive." Needless to say, Lashley will have to fend off various superstars on the road to WrestleMania. With the WWE Championship around his waist, Bobby Lashley is expected to enter WrestleMania 37 as the defending champion. Unfortunately for the Almighty, it's rare to see a lengthy reign with the title nowadays. Still, WWE has done a fine job of letting its top superstars hold the prestigious belt for long periods of time over the past 2 years. Brock Lesnar held the belt for months on end before he dropped it to Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania 36. The Scottish psychopath himself held the belt for several months too. It won't be easy for any superstar to take the belt off Bobby Lashley. His fans can only hope that WWE will give him a lengthy reign that will extend beyond WrestleMania. Do you expect to see Bobby Lashley have a year-long reign? Who will dethrone the Almighty? Sound off in the comments below. WWE Champion Bobby Lashley also revealed his thoughts on The Fiend. The Fiend hasn't been seen on WWE TV ever since he was burned alive by Randy Orton at TLC 2020. While speaking about fellow superstars, WWE Champion Bobby Lashley had nothing but praise for The Fiend and dubbed him as being incredibly dangerous. "The Fiend is always the most dangerous person, cause nobody really has stopped The Fiend," said Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley is currently at the top of the company's food chain as he holds the WWE title. He defeated The Miz to win the belt on Raw a few weeks ago and is currently enjoying his best run in WWE. Lashley's next goal would be to successfully defend the belt at WrestleMania 37. The Fiend was last seen at WWE TLC 2020, and the former Universal Champion has been absent from programming. Alexa Bliss has been teasing his return since then and is playing with Orton's mind in the process. If The Fiend returns and gets his revenge on Orton, there's a chance that he would eye the WWE title next. If Bobby Lashley is still champion at the time, fans could get to see a dream bout between these two men. Both superstars are unique performers in their own way, and a WWE title match pitting the duo on a major PPV would be intriguing. Do you agree with Bobby Lashley's statement about The Fiend being the most dangerous entity in all of WWE? If not, who deserves to be called the most intimidating and dangerous superstar in the company? Sound off below. The Fiend could decide that he no longer needs Alexa Bliss by his side on WWE TV. Over the past few weeks, Alexa Bliss has been seen inside a pentagram on WWE programming. She has seemingly hinted that she has some magical powers that could bring back The Fiend. This development is bad news for Randy Orton, who thought that his feud with Bray Wyatt came to end at TLC. But this progression could also spell doom for Bliss. If The Fiend comes back with even more power, he will be aware that the person who summoned him will be the only person who can then destroy him. As a result, it's likely that Wyatt will want to end his current alliance with Bliss and destroy the former women's champion. Bliss has been seen as the sidekick of The Fiend on WWE programming for several months. But her potential ability to bring him back would mean that she is actually more powerful than he is. For this reason, The Fiend might choose to get rid of her upon his return. WWE WrestleMania could be The Fiend's chance to unveil his new look. Since The Fiend was burned alive at WWE TLC, most fans have expected him to come back with a new mask or an otherwise altered appearance. WrestleMania would be the ideal time to debut this fresh look, which could include a melted or charred mask and a different wardrobe. WrestleMania is the best place for an unveiling of this magnitude, given the fact that WWE has been building towards The Fiend's return for several months now. When he finally comes back, it needs to come across like a major moment. A new appearance would also help The Fiend intimidate Randy Orton, because the Viper won't be prepared for this evolved version of the monster. This advantage could make all the difference in their match. Having The Fiend debut a frightening wardrobe change would be a perfect WrestleMania moment for Bray Wyatt. He has been able to make some interesting memories on the grandest stage of them all in WWE in recent years, but WrestleMania 37 could be his best one yet. The Fiend was last seen on WWE programming in December 2020. There, he lost the first ever Firefly Inferno match to Randy Orton. After the match, Orton also set The Fiend on fire and left him to burn alive. It's unclear if WWE's plan at the time was to write The Fiend off TV for several months or if the company backed itself into a corner with his booking. One could argue that it seems like the company is struggling to find ways to bring The Fiend back without ruining his feud with Orton. At this point, it has been almost 3 months since The Fiend last appeared on WWE programming. But Orton and Alexa Bliss have been able to continue the storyline on Monday Night Raw in his place. With just under 4 weeks until WrestleMania next month, it's likely that WWE could be keeping The Fiend away from TV until the biggest show of the year. WWE doesn't actually have a plan for The Fiend's return. The Fiend is a character that Bray Wyatt created himself, and he has been able to push it forward on WWE TV over the past 2 years. While there are aspects of the gimmick that still don't make sense, the former Universal Champion has been able to deliver some compelling storylines. Still, it has become quite clear over the past few weeks that WWE is running out of ideas when it comes to prolonging this storyline without The Fiend. But the company continues to push Alexa Bliss as the main villain in his absence, as she has been targeting Randy Orton. Did WWE not have a way to bring The Fiend back when he was being burned in the center of the ring at TLC? In that case, perhaps he shouldn't return until the showcase of the year. After all, WrestleMania would be the perfect stage for his first appearance of the year. The Fiend is out for revenge, so he should walk into WrestleMania, destroy Orton and become unstoppable once again. The Fiend's return could easily steal the show at WWE WrestleMania. As of this video production, there are only 2 matches officially on the card for this year's WWE WrestleMania, an event that is just a few weeks away. Various rumors suggest that The Fiend is expected to go one-on-one with Randy Orton in a Firefly Funhouse match. This stipulation would allow the fans to watch the Viper live through the distinct phases of his WWE career. Orton has been in the company for almost 2 decades, and given the reception that last year's Funhouse match with John Cena received, WWE will surely aim to replicate it. Plus, it would be fitting to have Orton participate in the bout, as he once had a legendary rivalry with Cena. The Fiend has been one of the most interesting popular stars in the company in recent years. Due to the lackluster build to this year's showcase of the Immortals, the company definitely needs him right now. If WWE can hold off on bringing Wyatt back until WrestleMania, his clash with Orton could be one of the most anticipated matches of the night. WWE WrestleMania could conclude The Fiend's feud with Randy Orton. Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt have a lot of history together on WWE TV. Naturally, their memorable past has been used as the foundation of the Viper's feud with The Fiend in recent months. The two men were once partners in the Wyatt family, but they came to blows when Orton won the 2017 Royal Rumble. He then went on to challenge Wyatt at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. Orton subsequently set fire to the Wyatt family compound, seemingly destroying Sister Abigail's body in the process. Fire has been brought into this current storyline between the Viper and The Fiend, and Orton has taken it a step further by burning a man alive. If The Fiend is able to return as a different entity, it would make sense to end the feud once and for all at WrestleMania. The former Universal Champion would probably be seen as the babyface in the match, and his potential victory could help reignite his momentum as a dominant force in WWE.